What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more of The Cure, and we're returning to Japanese Whispers, 1983. Thank you again to Phil. And the next track is The Walk, which is a pretty generic phrase. Obviously, depending on where you're going and the context of the walk, it could be more positive, more negative, more simplistic, or more complicated. And perhaps it could be figurative, meaning it's not literally moving your legs to traverse a space of ground, but perhaps moving away from someone or towards something or a particular goal. So, yes, I feel like there's a lot up in the air, even though the phrase itself is relatively simple. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. As soon as Luca decides how she wants to sit, she has made her choice. Let's give it a listen. This is The Cure. The track is The Walk, and it's included on the compilation of singles Japanese Whispers 1983. Oh! Wow, awesome, fantastic. I really love that one. So I'll start sonically. Number one, it definitely has a like 80s electronic feel, and yet it feels in some ways like it's almost presaging music that I in the 90s would become very fond of, meaning it has a almost like trance-like electronic melody. The metallic or very electrically buzzing bass line at the bottom of the track sounds like it could be trance-like, a tune from the 90s with similar what's the right word? Like character of the electronic sound. So number one, it feels a bit ahead of its time when it comes to some of the sonics, and yet there's also some melodic or electronic touches that feel a bit like chiptune, which is to say like video game music, especially from the 80s. Then as I'm already thinking like, wow, that almost like electronic harp or like plucked instrument sound, it has a bit of an East Asian feel, and then suddenly he says it's, you look like a Japanese baby, and it's like, oh wait, like that already I was feeling. And then Japanese whispers, I wonder if there's a connection to the compilation title overall, but I definitely was picking up on an East Asian sonic atmosphere in part of the melody, and then it was articulated a Japanese reference. So yeah, I feel like the character of the Sonics was already speaking to what was about to come in the lyrics, so that was impressive. And I like the danceable, energetic feel to it overall. Just a really cool arrangement or composition of the different parts of the tune. And we still have some of those, guitar strokes and the layers that I've come to know through their music already. But this definitely feels like different. This feels like we're moving into something new and more electronic based, which is to say we've heard some keyboard sounds and a blending of like 80s synths with guitar and bass, which are the two elements that have stood out to me the most from the earliest phase of their music. But this definitely feels a bit more characteristically or stereotypically electronic synth sounding of anything I've heard so far, though again almost like presaging electronic music that would come later. And that main riff, that kind of like wild like organ or like loud keyboard riff, I really enjoyed that in particular. So yeah, wild. And then lyrically, it sounds like we're using walk in some different ways, maybe motion toward, motion away from, motion coming together. So, talking about leaving his house at night and walking past what was it, like the howling woman, and waiting at the door of this other person, but then maybe going on a walk together, coming together and kissing her in a body of water, but her lips are dry, and then after doing this, she either transforms into or has the appearance of, relative to the observation of the narrator, like a Japanese baby, right as again we're hearing this riff which has a bit of an East Asian sound. So yeah, there's little snippets and very clear visual and kinetic elements to the lines and the themes, but I don't quite know the story being told. It does sound like it's a connection between two people moving in space and time, and perhaps independent of the other things around them. This idea of walking past this howling woman or whatever it was, like it sounds like he's undeterred, or he's not going to be distracted by other characters and aspects of the external world. He's very focused on this other person. But then to talk about yourself within the medium of water, or moving from one place to another toward this person, you're cognizant of what is happening around you and other people. So yeah, I don't really know the story being told, but it does seem singularly focused on this other individual. So a really cool one. I absolutely love that. I think his voice, maybe not as like pained or strained as I've heard it, maybe not as like deliberately out of time as some other places, but it still had a bit of this like longing or like internal turmoil to it. So I feel like Smith's vocals here again hit the spot perfectly. Do let me know what you think, and Luca, who didn't let me turn her into horizontal cut that time, we will see you next time. Peace.